Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Here we go! Here we go!
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to episode 4 now.
That's right, the big 4.
The big 4. We're almost halfway to double digits.
Getting close. Obviously, we know from episode 2 our math is not really our strong suit, but yeah, we're halfway almost.
You don't need math to talk.
It's true.
About stuff. So we got that going for us. Yeah. Behind the Boots podcast. So it's a show. We're going to just have a little chat, tell some stories about some funny shit that we do when we're in uniform. Not us, personally.
Well,
sometimes it's us, but most of the time, it's just, it warms my heart more when it's other people. You know?
When you don't have to explain to people who've never heard such stories and maybe are your close relations like your mom or father. And
sounds like, oddly specific.
Yeah, you know. And yeah. But it's other people that have to be like, that's not me. It wasn't me.
No, it's just
not me.
I'm just the messenger.
The purveyor of hilariousness from Behind the Boots.
That's a name. I can't spell it. As always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. BT Boots Podcast is our handle, as the kids call it. And it's also going to be posted at periodic times throughout the episode and probably in the episode description as well. So if you can't find it, you're probably stupid. And another easy thing they can do to help us and them out, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
It's a fact.
Wilco Media. It's easy.
By liking, you're helping us. By subscribing, you're helping yourself because you're getting knowledge of that next episode dropping.
Yeah.
And you won't miss out. Which is a big thing. You don't want to miss out.
No.
Subscribing also helps us too, though, but it's good. So like and subscribe, just like John said.
Yes. That'll be the first and only time he'll tell you to do what I say.
It's true. But also, as you mentioned, we like to tell stories on this podcast, right, about what happened in the military. And a lot of those stories that you've either heard in the past episodes or stuff that's coming out in the future was directly related to a little bit of drinking, right? Whether
libations.
Libations. We're not, promoting an alcohol culture, but we know that
it's there.
It was already there in the military long before
sure.
Either of us got into service, and it's still there, I'm sure, right now. So we like to have a drink while we're telling these stories as well, because it helps us recall some things, and it kind of lightens the mood a little bit, just like it did in service. So tonight's drink is what we call the John Daly. So it's the alcoholic take on the old Arnold Palmy. But this is used with Firefly Sweet Tea Vodka. And this was a drink that was in a bar when I was working at the SEER school. But they used Rockstar Lemonade as the other piece.
Like the energy drink?
Like the energy drink.
Jesus.
And would put the sweet tea vodka in it.
Where was that at?
It was in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
it gets you going, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it
and,
does.
Rockstar has since taken that out of their inventory in 2020. Another casualty of the COVID pandemic. But we just used some Minute Maid lemonade today, and we made some nice John Daly's.
I'll tell you what, it is delightful. It is refreshing. I feel like it's spring.
It is warmer outside. It is nice.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
concoction.
Refreshing concoction. I'm a fan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So we'll get right into it. First segment of mine is going to be called No Shit, There I Was.
I'm coming from the north, from the south. You don't even know. I'm just like exploding into action.
I feel like we have a lot of No Shit, There I Was stories. Most of the No Shit, There I Was stories, in my experiences, are talking about something that happened at deployment. So that's what these are going to be about. Something that happened whilst deployed. So we got 2 stories. I'm going to read the first one, talk about it a little bit, and I'll go to the second one. Okay. So I was on my second deployment, the first to Iraq, and they pulled 20 Marines from all over the battalion for a platoon for an in-country requirement. On the first day of our left seat, right seat, which is, training, We were on a vehicle patrol going over this floating bridge when the VC, or vehicle commander, his Humvee seat starts touching the battery underneath it. He sees that it's sparking, and I guess he saw a flame because he hit the vehicle fire suppression system. The driver was a kid from admin who had volunteered to come with us. Anyways, the fire suppression system goes off with a bang and filled the inside with a smoky white powder. He yells IED, and as the driver jumps out of the moving Humvee and starts to panic. This was hands down the funniest thing I've ever seen on deployment. Needless to say, he never went out on patrol with us again.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that happen when like the sparks from the or like when the Humvee seat's broken?
Yeah.
And it touches the terminals.
The worst place for batteries ever.
Absolutely.
Let's put 4 batteries underneath someone's ass.
Yeah, because most people don't realize that it's not a regular like car battery that runs a Humvee. It's multiple car batteries.
It's multiple big car batteries. We're gonna put that under someone's ass, and in between that ass and these batteries, we're gonna put a metal seat. That should work.
Yeah.
I swear to God, engineers that make military vehicles, they have to have the biggest fuck you attitude.
Yeah. You know what's funny too is then you have that going on, right? You have the battery to metal connection on a seat that you're sitting, usually wearing different types of explosives on your body on patrol.
That's fair, yeah.
And several things that could go boom very very easily if there's an electrical charge or a fire or anything like that. So it's brilliant. Yeah. I also love how they designed it, right? Like trying to fit into a Humvee with all of your kit on and then use the seatbelt. Yeah, that ain't ain't happening.
No, the windshield is your seatbelt. But how about the driver bailing out?
What do you...
It's been a while since I've done convoy ops, but I don't feel like that was in the field manual of how to handle an IED.
Well, maybe it was in the rewritten one. Or
maybe.
It was in the YouTube.
It has to be new.
It was in a YouTube video.
He watched the TikTok on how to run
He was ghost riding his whip. He was like, I'm out.
Have you ever seen someone use a fire suppression system, either on purpose or by accident?
I have not firsthand witnessed it. We didn't have it in ours when I started doing convoy stuff, but I have seen someone pull it by mistake, the aftermath of it in the back of a Bradley. They thought it was a handle and they were climbing into it at the back, like there's like the halon system. Yeah. Hilarious.
I don't have a fire suppression system story, but I have a fire extinguisher story. We were coming back from training, and it was a few-hour drive. We had a kid who was brand new private to the unit, and he had already had a mishap with a fan and a finger. I think you can put 2 and 2 together on that one earlier in the training. So he's driving back with our squad
9
leader
fingers.
in the wrecker, which is the tow truck. And so they're driving along the highway, and this kid kicks the fire extinguisher, which is also in a fucking terrible spot in a wrecker.
Stupid
It's
spot.
underneath the seat with the handle poking outward. Mm-hmm. So he kicks the handle, no pin in it. Fire extinguisher goes off. All the windows are up. The cab is filled with whatever product was in this specific.
Not healthy.
It's not
products.
stuff you're supposed to breathe in. I'm not a scientist.
Can you VA claim that?
I don't know what it is, but you're not supposed to breathe it in. So they roll down the windows, and you see
the white powder,
white
like
powder,
the
smoke,
cream-colored powder,
just coming all out the windows. And then you see a head in the passenger side sticking his head out the window, trying to get some air. They pulled off. Needless to say, I think they were 3 hours later getting back than we were.
I have. It's funny. I have seen the pin of a smoke grenade get pulled in the TC seat for a Humvee by an Iraqi child that was reaching in trying to grab stuff, and they had you just smoke grenades like secured on the next to the radio mount so you can grab them real quick, but he pulled the pin and then it dropped into the wheel well. And then the smoke grenade starts going off, inside the Humvee, just billowing out. But I remember that one.
Kid was looking for a muffin. He wound up committing murder. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Happens to the best
Just a
of us.
smoke grenade. It's all right. Just a bit of a flesh wound.
On to the next?
Yeah.
Cool. This one takes place in Vietnam.
Oh.
So this is
Creedence Clearwater.
This is a big reason why I wanted to do this. Is there's so many stories from veterans of past conflicts and past generations, and while a lot of time has gone by in between those, it's pretty similar. A lot of the things that
things don't change.
No, things change, but people don't.
Yeah, that's. I think I meant to say is like it's things don't change as you still go there to do one thing.
That's true.
Right, and you're the same person that's going to do that, whether it's now or Valley Forge or at Thermopylae with the Spartans.
Okay. All right. So in Vietnam, our corpsman is a Navy medic. He's assigned to Marine units. He was burying the head, and just the hole where you shit, which was 8 feet deep. He had a stroke of genius and thought, why not use gas? Keep in mind, this is a person who's supposed to treat you if you have any trauma in battlefield. Okay. He says, why not use gas? Well, he poured out a whole gallon in the shithole. So this is a lot of work. So he decides he's going to take a break, and he commences to take a dump in the gas-filled shithole. Well, there's nothing like having a smoke when you're taking a crap.
Oh my god!
And that's what I always say.
I just see this. I see where this is going.
He finished the smoke and dropped the still lit cigarette butt in the shitter.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
Yeah.
But bigger boom.
But bigger boom. Kaboom. Yeah. Gasoline explosion.
Yeah. Everyone was yelling incoming, and Doc flew up in the air. He had an ass as red as a baboon's, and he's yelling, "They blew me up." So he knew he put the gas in there. He knew he threw the cigarette in there, and he still thinks
there's
the
still
enemy
a possibility it might not have been him.
That's true. Jury's still out. Doc was medevaced out, and he never returned again. He iced up in the Sea Med for 11 months, where he was given the name Baboon Ass.
I do think that military nicknames are usually spot on too.
Yeah, and it's usually something that
it's related to a specific
that you did that wasn't the smartest of things.
Wasn't the smartest, or caused you to have a certain look, or
Yeah. Yeah, so they're not always creative, but they're always pretty accurate.
I was thinking it would go up as he lit the cigarette because like the fumes,
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
that's what I was waiting.
I guess
for.
it being 8 feet deep, it was enough to where.
I was like, wait for this, because that would be.
So he got lucky in a sense, then.
He did. I mean, yeah. Wow. That's because it also probably blew the shit out too, like up and out.
So he had just a red.
So he was covered in
just a red baboon poo butt.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
not for him.
Not well, no. But yeah, it's funny. It's when you just like you said, man. It's like I don't think soldiers change, Marines change. The attitude of the individuals.
No, it's always the same.
Yeah, I mean, you watch those shows like Band of Brothers, or like the Pacific or this thing. They still have stuff that fucking is hilarious that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those are some great stories.
That's why like someone who's 22 years old can go into a VFW and have a beer with someone who was in the Vietnam War, and they can talk to each other, and they can have like similar experiences, and they can connect on a level, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this.
It's true. The stories carry on. They linger. And a lot of that too is, I think it's like you get reunions and stuff. And those are some of the stories. Those are the stories that get brought up. It's like, dude, do you remember that time on leave in Thailand when we bought those two?
Go on.
Gifts for our mom, like those things. Do you remember?
It's shit like that. Yeah.
No,
exactly.
My dad was he did 2 tours in Vietnam. He was he started out as a tank commander in the early 60s, did a first tour as a tank commander in the 60s, or in the like 66, 67 in Vietnam, then went back, volunteered to be a helicopter pilot. And he's got those stories where he stole a military police motorcycle, and then
as one does,
drove it off a pier. and then was escorted back to the aircraft to make sure that he got on to go back to his flight. These are stories that have been passed down, obviously generational. I guess there was a party at an officers club for like one of his buddies that was getting married, and some higher ranking officer crashed the party. My dad didn't like it, so he threw a jukebox through the window and then threw this guy after it through the window as well. So I mean,
I think we need to fly your dad out here and come on the show.
It doesn't
tell
fall,
some stories.
It doesn't fall far from the tree.
Did you find yourself feeling that you needed to one up your father?
I didn't. I just felt like if I did get in trouble for things, I felt like it would be a blessing. It'd be like okay, there's your 15th. Like you don't get any more, you know. So, but I'm sure there was people doing this, like you said. I think you talked about it in the first episode. Complete boredom most of the time, with just moments of sheer terror,
exactly,
and violence, right? But it's like so. What do you do with those time? What do you feel in that time? And I'm surprised that no Marines tried to knock him into that shitter while he was taking a shit, because that's how can I make this situation worse for him?
That's true. That would be a Marine thing to do.
Yeah. It would be pretty funny.
And as they pushed him in, I'm a Marine.
Yeah, the Marines do have some good stories. We've been hearing a lot of them lately.
Yeah,
we've seen a lot of things.
Yeah,
they are characters. So
yeah,
I like
we talk shit, but nothing but respect.
No, we do. I have a lot of really, really close Marine friends that I have to keep my children's crayons away from when they're in the house. So, but I appreciate it. What's funny, Marines eat crayons, right?
That's
they
true.
Like to eat it, which is going to go right into my segment.
Oh,
it's
my
What's
goodness.
Cookin'. So
you wrote that shit up?
We did.
Off the cuff?
Boom! We did a What's Cooking episode or a segment in episode 2 where we talked about the MRE, everyone's favorite.
Correct.
Ask you some questions. You did not do so well.
Nope.
But we're gonna.
In my defense, I told you ahead of time I would not do well.
That's good. This is true. You did, and completely open. I like it. This one I think might be a little easier for you. But I was thinking the other.
So now when I don't do well, it's going to look.
Yeah,
even worse.
well, you're going to have some options. I'm going to give them to you ahead of time, and you're just going to have
Good.
to like fill in the blank almost.
Perfect.
But I was thinking about this the other day, right? You ever you're like, hey, let's grab some friends, like go out to eat, right? And you're like, what do you guys want? What do you feel like? You want Mexican? Do you want pizza? Do you want Italian? Do you want Thai? Like Chinese? What do we want, right? We always equate food here in the United States to like other countries.
That's true.
Do you think in other countries they're like, hey, you guys want American tonight? Do you want?
You guys want some diabetes?
Yeah, you guys want American food or what? But I thought I was trying to think. I was like, well, what are those other countries? What are their foods like in their meals? Because all of our MREs are based upon like
other countries'
foods, right? It's like chicken with salsa or
it's too bad they can't fit a fryer-later inside of an MRE
inside
bag.
an MRE, just really
and then it would be
foods.
all American food.
Yeah, all American foods. It's deep fried Oreos, corn dog. This is the state fair meal. It's like corn dogs, elephant ears, like all kinds of fried.
That's an MRE I can get behind.
I could get behind that one as well. So I've scoured the internet and I've found some international MREs and or their meals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also another fun thing I thought of, or that I found in the research for this is most of the other countries in the world do their meals for 24 hours at a time. So like they get a big thing that has 3 separate meals in it, one for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and like accessories for all those. So you can kind of like pick and choose, which is crazy.
Can like mix them up a little bit.
Yeah, mix it up, trade if you will.
Yeah.
So I tried
it's all in one pack, right?
It's all one big box,
Yeah.
and they break it down.
It's almost like it makes sense.
It makes sense, right? Yeah. So I went off of basically what would equate to menu number 1 for several countries' MREs.
Go on.
These countries include the United Kingdom, France, Italy, Australia, Canada, and Mother Russia.
Nothing from the U.S., right?
No. These are none of our meals are in here. So I'm gonna give some menu items, and you have to guess the country.
Okay.
based upon that menu, like
All
what
right.
the menu item is, right?
Sure.
So these are menu number 1 from this country. It contains a breakfast meal, a main meal, and a dessert meal, and a soup pouch. Main meal number 1 is chicken curry with potatoes and rice, and the other meal is pork pasta bolognese.
What are my countries again?
You can go with Italy, Australia, Canada, Russia, or France.
Oh boy.
I know. Let me read you some more of the ingredients.
Yeah, do
and
that.
You might be able to do that. So, 1 packet of biscuit browns, 1 oatmeal block, 1 meat pate, such as turkey and herbs, chicken and herbs, etc. 1 chocolate bar from a brand called Duncan's of Beshahill, Scotland. Just saying. 1 packet of boiled sweets. 1 packet of Wrigley's chewing gum. 1
Is
drinking
this the
chocolate.
England one?
Yes,
Okay.
This is the United Kingdom's meal. I was hoping the Scotland, which is part of the United Kingdom, would give that away. But yeah, chicken curry. It was interesting.
That threw me off.
I know it
The
did.
chicken curry.
And
Because I didn't think that anything in any country in the United Kingdom, I didn't think they knew how to use spices when they cooked. I thought they'd just boil shit and call it a day.
well, to keep in mind, it's a breakfast meal in foil boil-in packet, main meal in foil-in boil-in packet. Like you just boil the shit out of it.
Yeah, so I
And it
was
has a
right.
Flavor. So good job. All right, that was a good one. All right. All right. So our next country, okay, menu number 1 again is a breakfast, lunch, and they say supper meal.
Okay.
So
I already feel like this is Russia because there's no dessert.
well, no, this is just their main meals. They do have accessories that come with it. So it's like the breakfast. So put it this way. So number 1, the breakfast is ham steak with mustard sauce. It comes with sliced pears and syrup, crunchy cereal. The lunch meal is Hungarian goulash, which comes with sliced peaches with syrup, pineapple beverage crystals, cheese sandwich
I think
crackers.
I'm going to stick with Russia on this one.
Ooh, okay, let me...
Keep going.
Well, the third thing might throw you off. It's a meal called Navarin, which is a stew of lamb and veggies, which comes with mango peach apple
What
blend,
the fuck?
mixed fruit beverage crystals, and bread, strawberry jam, steak sauce. The flavors in here would lead me to believe it's not Russia because they don't care about their people, as you'll find out when
That's
the real
true,
Russian
yeah.
one comes out.
In Russia, food eat you.
Yeah.
And I want to say Australia too for some reason. I have no idea what this one.
This is actually Canadian.
Is it
which
really?
is crazy to think that.
I
right?
initially thought Canadian because of the ham steak and the syrup.
Yeah.
But then you come at me with goulash.
I know.
And I was
well,
like, what?
I know, but it's weird because the other ones, some of their other main meals are beans with wieners and tomato sauce.
Of course.
Yeah, Rogue Privates.
I love the little snicker over there when he says wiener.
And then chicken breast cacciatore, cabbage rolls and tomato sauce. She said Salisbury steak dinner. It seems very Canadian. Yeah, but okay, so we're 0 for 2. I mean, you're 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
Yeah.
Give me some damn
1 for 1
credit.
with the assist. Okay, I'll give you that one. All right, this next one is super easy.
I hate when you say that.
It's a 2-part meal, so they don't have a breakfast part of it. They have 2 main meals in their meal, in their Lunchable.
Okay.
Beef stew with carrots, and I believe they pronounce it boeuf stew. Does that help you at all? No,
Nope.
probably not.
Nope.
Pork with vegetables, cheese spread, pork pate with crackers. 1 package of salty crackers, 1 package of sweet crackers, a cereal bar, chocolate energy bar, lemon flavored hard candies, and caramels or caramels.
It's
depending on who you
France.
are. It is. It is
Yeah.
France. 2 for 1. Boeuf.
Pretty good.
French for buff. Beef, Maybe. I don't know. My French is not that good.
No,
All right, so not
probably
bad.
better than mine.
Yeah, we're narrowing it down. Only a couple left, right?
Good.
A couple choices.
Yeah, I completely forget what the other ones are, but I'll
Oh,
figure it out.
perfect. Well, okay.
Russia, Australia, and Italy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So, next one is known as the Combat Ration 1 Man 24 Hours.
Russia.
Menu A. And that's it. It's all it comes with is 1 man for 24 hours. So your choices, the menu number A, or menu A, is braised beef and gravy, chicken Italiano, soup savory, beverage powder.
See, I want to say Italy, but why would they put Italiano in there?
Exactly. You have to go back to what we're thinking.
I know.
If it was in Italy, it would be...
It's Australia.
It is Australia.
Yeah.
If it was Italy, it would be chicken us.
Yeah.
Like our chicken.
Chicken from home.
Yeah. Yeah. Biscuit crispy, confectionery spread chocolate, freeze-dried potatoes and onions. Definitely Australian. So just 2 left.
Okay.
2 left. This one, I'm going to... this is where I think is a huge hint right off the bat. Actually, for either Russia or Italy, this could kind of... Yeah.
All right. Thanks for instilling confidence.
Yeah. 2 out of the 7 modules. So that's what they call their meals.
Okay. Is that the hint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 out of the 7.
Yeah.
They have 7. That's the hint. B or F contain an item called cordial or bevanda alcoholica, or cordial alcoholic beverage.
Italy.
This correct. This is a 3 3cl shot of brandy-like liquor in a plastic bottle. It comes...
It wasn't vodka, so I knew it wasn't Russia.
Yeah. But, they have a very unique system, too. Theirs is tortellini in sauce. Weird. Science. Beef canned. Tuna in oil. Minestrone soup. Yeah, very...
So they have words like canned, and then they have actual drinks and shit. How big are these packs?
They're huge. I saw
say.
pictures looking. They're freaking big, man. It's like our box of MREs.
Yeah, where do they put it?
Well, I don't think they are doing.
What do they just have donkeys?
Stuff. Yeah, probably.
They have war donkeys. They just toss all this shit on.
Probably.
I want a war donkey.
If North Korea has war dolphins, it's not far fetched.
I wonder if they put their MREs on their dolphins.
They don't have MREs.
They don't.
No.
Just eat the bugs on the ground.
Yep. Yeah. They have dolphins. So your last one is obviously Russia, but it's so Russian, I can't even make it up what their flavors are. Number 1 item in their meal is crackers that are literally translated from Russian into army loaves. Assorted canned meat and vegetables. Barley porridge, boiled buckwheat rice with beef.
Yeah, see, they don't even try.
Assorted canned meats, sausage stuffing, liver pate. Stewed beef, beverage concentrate, fruit jam, tea, paper napkins.
See, Russia is probably one of the few countries that can just blatantly not give a fuck about their citizens.
100%.
And what are they going to say?
I know. So, World War II, right? The Russians, that whole front coming into Germany, it was well known that they would raid every village and every city, and they wanted to eat, man.
Yeah, well, they have fucking army loaf or whatever the fuck it's called.
The war's over. No, we're going to keep going.
Yeah,
we're hungry.
This has actually been really good for us. Yeah, we're going to keep going.
I've actually gained weight in this.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic.
So I just found it funny that no matter where you go, except for Russia, there was a Italian-themed meal in every single country's inventory. And there was actually multiple. And I think almost every country had a tortellini in tomato sauce, which is the GOAT, I guess. It's the best.
I guess.
It's just funny.
I mean, I ate it.
Yeah,
it was
not good, but
I wasn't writing home about it.
But I wonder if theirs is better, right?
I would assume so.
Or is it or you look at our hamburger patty MRE, and then you look at a real hamburger in America. If you're then you look at their cheese tortellini.
Every time I hear patty when it comes to MREs, I think of the gelatinous mess that comes out either before or after or both.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about when you're opening it?
When you squeeze it out, because I never heated mine up. So you'd squeeze out the thing, take a bite out of it, and you just have jelly.
That's funny.
I was never ready for that jelly.
That was a Yeah, or when you like you get that tear and it like squirts on, like it hits you, like a little piece of
you
it.
Get
like
you get some sausage bukkake on your face.
You get that ham slice, the old man slice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Just seeing what other people go. You did much better on these questions.
Well, thank you.
You did much
Thank you.
better. I think
I can see from over here.
Oh, did you?
No, I can't.
No, you can't, because I made sure you couldn't, because I put them in the wrong place. I did like that you were able to get more answered. You looked like you were paying attention more.
Appreciated that myself.
You were focused. I think one of the things we'll try to do is find somebody that can be a subject matter expert on these.
Yeah.
And,
or just keep giving me layups.
Keep giving you layups. Yeah.
Quit setting me up for failure and just fucking.
Okay. I will do that.
Listen. Over time, they're gonna realize I'm pretty retarded. Okay, we don't need to tell them on episode 4.
Can't use that word.
Sorry.
Pretty. You can't use that. You can't use that word. Pretty. Definitely not you. Not pretty. What do you think about international food? What's your favorite? If you had to pick a choice where you're gonna go eat.
Well, it wasn't Russia.
I'm not even saying for these. I'm just saying.
Oh, talking about international food. Well, that
comment
definitely
not
stands.
Russia.
That comment still stands. It's not Russia.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of Russian restaurants in places.
It's just borscht.
Yeah.
Vodka. You go in, you bring your own bowl, you just scoop it out with your bowl.
It's a bowl of borscht and some vodka.
And some army loaf or whatever the fuck they call it. I like Mexican. I like Italian. I like fusions.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anything with like a Japanese fusion.
Nice.
Is where it's at for me.
You a sushi guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
like the sushi?
Are you a sushi rolls, or like a nigiri where the piece is like on the rice?
It depends on
or
the
do you
mood.
like a sashimi? It's just straight fish.
It depends on the mood.
Yeah.
Usually it's a roll.
What's your go-to roll? Do you like the spicy tuna?
Probably spicy tuna.
Yeah.
Like a crunchy spicy tuna. Yeah.
Maybe a little eel on top.
Maybe.
Okay.
Slurp it down.
Okay.
Bougie as fuck.
I'm a fat kid, dude. I love to eat, so I could talk about food.
I could tell. Your eyes lit up when we started talking about this.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing. But it's funny. Being lucky enough to have been stationed overseas in Europe and in Japan and going to other places, you don't see, especially in Italy, there wasn't like other countries' restaurants or like other ethnic restaurants everywhere.
Probably because they thumb their nose out.
Yeah, they're just like, we eat Italian. But what you like?
Why?
But there's always a Japanese restaurant or a Chinese restaurant, and then in Japan when I lived there, there was an Italian restaurant, and like everything else was Japanese.
Because they know who's as good. They're not fucking around with anything else.
Nah, we're all set. We're all set. So good. All right. Well.
Awesome, man.
Duly noted.
Ready for the next segment?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. This is a listener requested.
It is. So we got an email from one of the listeners, John Dorman, good friend of ours. Great guy. Even better goalie. Even
better, John. Shut the front doorman.
Yeah. So he was an Army Ranger officer. He suggested that we shed some light on the lives of officers in the military.
I actually believe he said stop talking just about peasants and start talking about the royalty.
I think that's exactly what he said. Yeah, he's like, why am I listening to a podcast about all these peasants when I could be listening to something about someone I care about?
Mm-hmm.
Great guy, though.
Yeah, fantastic guy.
So, I wasn't an officer.
Mm-mm.
Dealt with a lot of officers, some good, some not so good. And I figured they're kind of people, too. So why not include them?
I'm excited for this. I'm from a family of officers.
And then it's just you.
And then it's me, which is great. I had fun. My brother is a retired officer. My uncle is a retired officer. My dad was a retired officer. And then my grandfather was an officer. So
So what happened to you?
Dude, I'm like, you guys do all that stuff? No, I'm going to go do this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
so you
paperwork.
guys, paperwork and shit? No, I'm all set with that.
So, like you said, officers are kind of people too.
So this segment is called Officers' Quarters.
Hit it.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so all senior officers were supposed to be off station, so it seemed like a brilliant idea to have a naked barbecue outside the officers' mess. We didn't want a sausage fest, so we called in some girls from a local nursing college. The afternoon is going great, with loads of half-naked nurses and mostly naked baby officers enjoying ourselves. I'm assuming baby officers is like lieutenants,
Yeah.
maybe a captain. I don't know. Are they like a toddler at that point?
Yeah, well, it depends on we'll get into that. I
Okay.
got some thoughts on that.
To be continued. So when we notice a convoy of 6 or so vehicles headed to the mess, we just thought it was more people coming to the party. That was until the doors opened and I see a load of people in dress uniform and red epaulettes, which would signify senior officer, 3 half colonels, a full colonel, and our station commander, and a couple of brigadiers, which are generals, all with wives in tow. Shit is not about to hit the fan. Shit is about to go nuclear. As I'm manning the barbecue at that particular time, the station commander walks up and says, "Second Lieutenant," and he pauses for effect. The silence is deafening. "Got any burgers going?" "Hell yes, we do, sir." So we ended up drinking with the divisional command staff. A good time was had by all. Ended up getting called into the adjutant's office Monday morning and given 2 months of extra duty because someone snatched a bunch of minced beef and sausages and various assortment of barbecue-type supplies from the kitchen. There was also a semi-successful raid in the wine cellar.
So this is definitely not a U.S. officers.
From what
think,
I gathered with the senior command officers in the red epaulettes.
Yeah. I'm either thinking this has to be a Commonwealth country, like Canadian or Australian or.
Could be.
Because he also did.
I didn't get that
the
part.
word minced, which is found in a lot of the menus.
The food expert.
Minced meat
Yeah.
is like hamburger meat.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I've never heard it called that in our range.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
That's great. Good for him.
So after reading that, I had 2 takeaways.
Okay.
One, no matter who you are, everybody loves barbecue.
It's true.
And no matter how old you are and what your rank is, everybody loves half-naked nurses.
Everybody loves a party.
Do you think those officers would have had the same, the senior officers would have had the same reaction if it was just a bunch of naked dudes walking around? And I'm assuming one naked dude with apron on, man the barbecue.
Yeah, I think they probably would have more been worried about what.
Why?
Why? Yeah,
But why?
You guys have shorts. Like, what's
I know you do because I issued them.
We gave them to you.
Yeah.
We gave them to you. Yeah. But this is so. It's like you said earlier, right? A 22-year-old guy can go into the VFW or wherever and drink and have the same stories. Having multiple conversations with officers and seeing my platoon leaders and my company commanders and stuff, growing up, and then even in the Air Force, like the young lieutenants who are pilots, they're just people too, and they're the same age, right? Like they graduate college, they do their training, and then they're still trying to sow their oats.
That's the part that blows my mind. There's multiple ways of becoming an officer.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways is going through ROTC at your college.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, at least I know, when I found out that an officer had gone through ROTC at a college, like he had to prove that he knew what he was doing. It's a tall task to ask a kid coming right out of college to go lead a group of 30 to 40 people. Especially when you get salty E6s and E5s who've been in for 15, 20 years.
You mean the adults?
Yeah, the adults of the group who have no fucking respect for you at all. Like that's a tough task to ask.
Yeah. But again, like, my brother was an ROTC instructor.
Nerd.
Yeah, big time nerd alert. But it's a class, man.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah.
You go to class, but then you still have to. What I think is interesting, and I think they get a good mix of that in the officer world, is you get the officers who come out of the service academies, right?
Yep.
Then you get the officers,
bigger nerds,
big time. Then you get the officers who come out of ROTC, so regular college, went to ROTC. Then you also get the ones that went to OCS or OTS, depending on your service, like Officer Candidate School. So you did 4 years of college and then joined the military, maybe junior enlisted, then went to OCS. But they all have to go to their branch-specific school together, right? So you get that good mix of officers. But did you ever have, or were you ever able to pick and choose or see an officer and like kind of tell where they came from, like what their path to that officership was like, or where it came from?
I feel like you can always tell when someone comes from, how do I put this with
how do you put this politically correct?
Yeah. I could always tell if I saw a butt bar who was, fresh, like had a smile on his face. You could tell he never has to shave. Like that guy literally just came out of college, probably ROTC program. This is the first time he's ever been in uniform with anybody else. Then you do have the ones that come out of the military academy who think their shit don't stink. I know one of you. We both know one of them. You know who he is. Should I say his name?
His shit does stink. I've smelled it.
Mark Tilch's shit does stink. But we won't say his name to keep his anonymity.
Keep him protected?
Yeah, keep him protected. But he lives at... No, I'm just kidding. No. But I mean, you could also tell the people who had been in for a while, made their way up to the ranks a little bit, and then decided that they wanted to go officer. Because...
More money?
No matter what path you take, the perpetual sadness, aura of sadness will always follow you if you've been in for it long enough, and you could always smell it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's funny too is looking at the different levels of the officer world, and it's very similar to like the enlisted and non-commissioned officer world, like the sergeant's world. Like, you become more of a manager at certain levels, as opposed to like a leader. And seeing it from the Army, you get lieutenants who are your platoon leaders, and they're real gung-ho. They want to be, tactically proficient. They want to be out there just real gung-ho, yeah. Right? And then you get, your executive officer in your company who's been a first lieutenant for a while, already had a platoon time, probably had a second platoon time somewhere. Now he's the beans and bullets counter, making sure you get all your stuff. And, he's in charge of the company when the commander's not there, which we hope is never, because then the commander is, if you get a fresh commander, he's a little more hard charging because he's a young captain. Or if you get a senior captain, he's like, I'm on my way out, I'm going to be a major, like I got to make a name for myself. Like, so you get those different types. Then you get the majors and the colonels who are like leading, these huge formations, and they think they're all Patton. But then it's funny is at least to me, in the Air Force, seeing on that side of the world, your lieutenants, all they do in the pilot world is fly. They're like, that's all I have to do. I'm just flying. That's it.
That's the job you want.
And then they become captains. It's the same kind of thing, right? They don't lead, at least in like the fighter squadron world and like some of the like the attack aircraft. They don't lead until they're like literally lead until they're like lieutenant colonels and squadron commanders. They have like your flight commander, but you're flight commander for 3 other lieutenants.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Whatever. But it's always funny is when they get promoted to major, they're officially kicked out of the bro club. And they're not allowed to play with the captains and lieutenants anymore because they're a field grade officer.
Oh, I lost all my buddies.
Yeah. And I think that's always been funny to me. There's like that separation because you get that field grade officer level, major and above, where you're like have to wear the monocle, and then you have to like
they swing the can around.
Yeah, they swing the can. And they have to sniff brandy and then like slowly drink it after chow.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, on the white, linens.
It's way above my pay grade.
Pretty sure exactly how it happens.
I think so. And if we are misrepresenting the officer corps, let us know.
Yeah, we probably won't.
Write in. WilcoMediaPro.com/BTB podcast.
And put officer right up front. Probably won't read it, but
if you put officer, it'll go right in the circular file.
No, in all reality, in all seriousness, I do appreciate John taking the time to write that, and we'd love to have some more officer stories.
Yeah,
and there's a
from
few
that
more.
side of the house for sure.
I know our buddy Mark he told me he wrote one too, so we'll dig into that one soon. But it is always funny that you can rib on that. There's some guys that take it like uber serious, and they're like, "Why are you always picking on us?"
Stop! I'm in charge,
But yeah, it was a good one. I like it. So.
Naked barbecue.
Do
I smell
with nurses? But I also think that's also like the naked nurses thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's probably tried and true military folklore as well. Like it's always like, look, it's the nurses. Look, it's the you're in the front lines and you're like, oh, the nurses. Like I've been wounded.
It's just a stub toe. No.
It's I gotta go back.
I gotta go see the nurse.
I gotta go back. It's always that it's like, them and us. Like, there they are.
That's true.
The mythical creatures.
The sirens.
Yeah. But this week, going into mail call, we have a double story.
Yeah, it's a twofer.
Two for the price of one. And we appreciate our friend, Keith, from Hull, Massachusetts, writing in and telling us this, which is also good. He's a Marine, right? So
yeah, he wrote it in. He sent it in. It was written in purple crayon, so I typed it out. I fixed all the spelling errors. I made the sentences. Yeah, I fixed the fragment sentences.
The run-on sentences.
And I formed actual thoughts out of it. So it might be what he was trying to convey.
So he really wrote one word.
He just wrote, "I was a Marine."
Yeah.
So then I made up the story. No. This is, like you said, a story from a listener.
I believe he was
Keith.
one of those smart. He was an intelligence Marine, right? He was a smart Marine.
Yeah. He was definitely an outlier. He was not. He was the exception to the rule for sure.
All right. Fair enough. So we'll read these. And then
Please do.
We'll decipher.
Yes.
And we'll talk about what these mean to us. Okay. So bear in mind these stories come right together, and they do kind of intertwine, but we'll let the listeners take their own opinions.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 weeks left in Afghanistan, doing turnover with the incoming unit. We weren't working much, just hanging around on Leatherneck, waiting to leave. This is probably June of 2012. And it was averaging 110 degrees during the day. One of the engineers I was working with, caveat to this, when someone says they're an engineer in the military, doesn't mean that they went to like MIT. Okay?
Yeah.
It means they like to blow up shit.
Yeah,
and they move obstacles
They did a
out of the way.
10-week course to learn how to blow shit up. Yeah, that's it.
So I wanted to explain it. Which I still love those guys because they blow shit up.
They're great, yeah.
I was working with, who was known for surviving off Rippets and C4, no water. Again, this is not the guys from MIT.
This is,
Brought in a giant roll of tinfoil. We proceeded to dress him up as the Silver Bullet, wrapping his entire body in a tinfoil suit. His hat looked straight out of the movie Signs, with the top shaped like a traffic cone. So we walked around the engineers and the HE tents. I don't know what that one is. HE.
Keith, let us know what HE means.
Yep, thank you. And when people were facing the other direction, he'd ram his head into their asses and inform him that they'd received the newest edition of the Silver Bullet. On another note, a friend of mine went to the porta shitter during one of the stints at Dwyer. He came out obviously sweating profusely, complaining about the heat. These porta shitters were notorious for not carrying any type of hand sanitizer and were always running out of TP. We were sitting at the smoke pit shortly after he came out of the shitter, and we watched one of the females from another unit who was a deployment 9. We'll talk about what that means in a minute.
Yes, we will.
Go in after him. We sat there for 20 minutes. I had to take and see what he was saying. Was he saying they're on deployment? And all right, tracking.
Yeah.
Tracking. We sat there for a good 20 minutes while we debated how she was going to properly clean herself off after using the shitter. We soon came to the realization she was dropping one, which was going to be even more problematic. Sat for another 5 minutes until she came out. Since we knew she had the inability to wipe after that, we watched as she walked back to the Marines in her unit and began shooting the shit with them, grabbing her rifle and smoking a cigarette with her undoubtedly disgusting hands and ass. She became known as Shit Hands for the rest of the deployment, and she never knew why. So
we know why.
So much to talk about in this story.
Okay. Where do you want to start with the silver bullet?
Yeah, let's break that down.
So I'm assuming silver bullet. They don't mean the train from the Coors Light commercials. They're talking.
No.
They're talking vibrator.
Yeah.
Silver bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was there a new one that came out in 2012?
A new
silver bullet?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It was him. He was the new edition.
He was the silver bullet, the new edition.
Where'd they get the foil?
Great question. I'm assuming Chow Hall? Maybe?
They don't just have foil out.
Maybe they do. I mean, some of the maybe if there's like to-go meals for the guard towers and stuff, they gotta run the meals out. Maybe tinfoil. That's a lot of friggin' tinfoil though.
Yeah.
And it's the Marine Corps. They don't have a lot of money, so it's probably one roll per deployment. So they
only had 2 weeks left, so they didn't care anymore.
Okay, this is true. Do you find this funny?
I'd need more info. Like, how hard was he going in the ass with that silver bullet?
It's true.
Because that's borderline sexual assault.
That's assault, brother.
That is assault, brother.
But I find it hilarious because let's look at the mindset of these guys, right? 2 weeks left in Afghanistan.
They're literally doing nothing.
Doing nothing, right? They've been there for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever months, right?
Yep.
So to them, this is fucking hilarious. Whereas the newer people who are there that they're probably doing this to are like,
they're like, what the
fuck is going on?
I just picture like a couple of privates who'd never been deployed before. They have no idea what to expect.
And then
they're like the straightest edge people you could meet, and they just look at these people in horror, thinking that that's the mindset that they're going to have when they leave.
That's
like,
them.
how bad did this place fuck them up to where they're sticking their tinfoil head up asses?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bold.
Those guys are fucked for life.
Second question, two-parter.
HE, heavy equipment.
Heavy equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, okay. Engineers, heavy equipment. Boom. There we go.
Makes sense.
Makes sense now. Was that Keith?
It was Keith, yeah.
Nice. Second question, two-parter. Do you think that he was in full uniform?
No.
Like BDU top or just...
Nope. I think he was in the Marine silky PT shorts with combat boots.
Green top.
And his green top.
Green t-shirt. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And maybe even a gas mask.
I mean, that would be the alien from Signs. It would be appropriate. So my next question, based on that, is why were these guys thinking that a silver bullet was the best thing to run around carrying?
Where did they get the silver bullet idea?
Yeah, I think that's...
Which one of those guys had the silver bullet?
I think there's a lot of questions left in the air.
It's like, hey guys, I just got this I heard about this new thing that came out. You want to make it out of me?
So let's delve into now this next piece of the story.
The poo hands, dirty poo hands.
Yes, let's first focus on, because this is also comes up multiple parts of the story is let's focus on the porta shitter and how incredibly disgusting those things are in theater.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It's a lot of shit in there. Not a lot of things to clean yourself with. Probably a lot of secretions as well, as far as masturbation goes. They're about, so if it's 110 outside, it's probably like 130 in there.
Easily.
At least.
Easily.
So, I mean, is it an ideal spot to take a poo? No. Do you got to do it? Yeah. Everybody poops.
Everybody poops. We learned
Everybody
that.
poops.
We learned that.
But yeah, I make it a practice, even when I'm at my own house. It's good practice. Everyone should try it. Make sure there's toilet paper before you shit.
Prior to
shitting.
Little check, little boom. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to go. I was never a fan of the porta potty because what tended to happen was you would not have the best and the brightest cleaning those porta potties. Usually it was a
Third Country National, yeah.
Yeah, TCN, right? And they would drive around and they would do two things. They would first suck all the poo out,
spray down,
and then spray the fuck out of the inside of that with
the same tank.
With the same tank, cleaning water, right? But they would usually spray all the toilet paper too. They wouldn't restock, or they would just huck the new toilet paper in on top of the spray.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
And it would always they took the shit. They didn't give a shit. And it would always be wet toilet paper that was disgusting.
Yeah, which sounds great, but
no,
because
it's also not the best toilet paper.
Right, it's not like Huggies.
It's John Wayne paper.
Yeah, it is at least 80 grit that you can stick a finger through, and it happens a lot.
It's rough.
It's
tough.
very rough, and it's very fragile at the same time. The military did it. They found a way to make something rough and fragile at the same time.
It's literally toilet paper with PTSD. It's fucking fragile. It's tough but fragile, right? So that was always my problem. It was always fucking wet toilet paper. So I always carried the Hua wipes
in the pocket.
In my pocket. That's what the cargo pocket was invented for. So for all of you dads out there that are wearing cargo shorts this next summer, remember that cargo pocket was designed for shit paper. So you're welcome.
And if you're wearing cargo shorts, we salute you.
Yeah, we do. With your white New Balance shoes.
Yeah, I know you're cooking burgers right now, and I want one.
Yeah, you're grilling. Now let's go into the next part of this, right? Which was what took me a moment to read this. A deployment 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so John,
deployment
would you be able
9.
to break down the
easy,
deployment
easy.
scale and what he's specifically meaning here?
So I feel like the deployment scale, deployment 9 is probably a stateside 5. So I think...
What are you referring to?
A person's attractiveness.
Okay.
So if
For
you...
a potential mate.
Right.
Yeah.
If you are a stateside 4, you're going to go, depending on how long your deployment is, because it goes up as the longer the deployment is.
It's a revolving scale, I would say.
Exactly. So you go over there at 4, a couple months you're going to be a 5. Maybe another month, you're going to be a 6.
I think when you get on the plane, you become a 5. Like you automatically go up 1.
Oh, it's like one of those automatic things for you?
Yeah, like the moment
I still pride myself in having some standards.
No, but the moment you like get on a plane, right? Like you're deploying, that moment that 4 gets on a plane, 5, right? It's like starts right there, boom.
I'll tell you what, I'd fuck a 5 on a plane. It automatically makes it at least a 6 or a 7 because you're on a plane.
Now, I know I'm going to throw this out here. I know we're objectifying our women in uniform right now.
Who said women?
I know.
No one
that's
said
what
women.
I'm going to try to
good.
clarify. This does not just, stand for the women. However, I do believe that they automatically have better choices than the male have for choices.
That's a fact, and that's a strictly numbers game, ladies.
Yeah.
That's nothing else but numbers. And also, if we're being real, their options really aren't that great either. There's a lot more of us.
Yeah, but none of us are 10s.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a catch, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so, and also our scale goes up way slower than theirs goes up.
I think ours can go in the negative.
That's true.
Deployed. Like
That's true. Yeah, I've been with this motherfucker for way too long.
Yeah, he's like a 2.
Yeah, he's. Can you have a negative?
You can. I do believe you can. They would kill you and leave you.
So deployment 9, I'd say she's probably about 5 or 6 normal.
That's a bold. Okay. Yeah.
Normally, and that's stateside, out of uniform.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say.
Okay. All right. I just needed your explanation. I just wanted to delve into that. So, that's the other thing too. Is everybody knows everybody, even if you've never met them, right? Common chow halls, PT gyms, whatever. It's a weird world.
Yeah.
Weird system in the deployment world.
On a bright side, it makes stalking so easy.
That's really inappropriate.
It's so easy.
Totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
But I'm
Am
sure
I wrong?
You're well versed. But the facts of this is like the porta potty. I feel bad for this female Marine.
I don't at all.
She was
Check
set up
before you poo.
I know, set up from the get go, right?
She was set up to fail.
Yeah.
But it was her own doing.
That well, okay. Okay, cool. Sure. But wow, just
to not even go wash your hands.
But what we don't know, okay, is we don't know if this Marine was prepared and also had the hoorah wipes in her cargo pocket.
I don't feel like. Do they have hoorah? That's a good one though. I don't feel like those are meant for. I don't think those are meant for internal uses, man.
Well, we're not talking internal use. We're talking if she had to drop a deuce, she drops a deuce. You drop a deuce. It's the same.
Yeah, but she's got to wipe front to back, dude. Like she's got to.
Well, I know it might sting.
So this is how a woman's anatomy works.
It might sting for a moment, but guess what? She's still wiping, and she's got a hoorah wipe, okay, and she's wiping her hands with that. So I think she fooled all those people.
Did she fool them because they called her shit hands?
Yeah. But she didn't have shit hands.
But
that's why she didn't know what the name comes. She's like, guys, I had hoorah wipes in my pocket the whole time.
I would
reverse psychology.
If it was me, I would come out and just say it. You know what I mean? Like,
no toilet paper in here.
No toilet. Good thing I had my hoorah wipes. You know what I mean? Like, I would make sure that people knew that I had a clean bum when I walked out.
What I'm taking away from all of this is I'm upset because Keith was smoking.
Yeah, that's why he's so fucking slow.
Yeah, he's a better man than that.
He's not, though.
No, he's not.
No, he's
smoking.
He's a real piece of garbage. That's what he is.
At the smoke pit. But yeah, that's I really appreciate the twofer there, Keith.
Yeah, that was awesome, Keith. Thank you.
But I do think that you need to check for cargo pockets next time.
Yeah, pat her down next time she comes out of the shitter. Hey, I know there was no shit paper in there.
And if there's not such thing as hoorah wipes,
yeah,
trademarked right now. There you go. Hoorah. If you like those kinds of mail call stories that we just talked about, you can submit those to us.
You can.
Yeah, they can submit them.
Yeah, you can do it all by yourself. How do they do it, Bobby?
Well, there's a couple ways, right? You got to find us. How are you going to find us?
I don't know.
Behind the Boots Podcast, right? On Instagram at BT Boots.
Podcast.
You can also go to the Wilco Media
YouTube page
and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. If you want to submit a story, wilcomediapro.com/BTB podcast, which I'm sure, because we have such a great producer, will be right at the bottom. Right here. And like we said before, it doesn't have to be a story. We had a suggestion from John Dorman, and it was a great suggestion.
Kicked off a good segment.
Yeah, so it was a great segment. So we listen. If you have if something you think that we should cover, or you think that would make a fun segment, write us. What's the worst we can say is no?
Yeah, which we probably won't.
Probably won't.
Yeah, we want to please you.
Yeah, in all the ways.
with your stories. That's what he means.
With our mouths. With our words. Sorry, with our words.
Yeah, you have to excuse my co-host here. He doesn't know what he's saying, but yeah, I think that's what's key is even if you don't have anything that you want to talk about, but you want us to talk about something, or be like, hey, what about this, or what about we haven't had a lot of. We've had Coast Guard submission.
Yep.
Marine Corps submissions.
Yep.
We've had some of my Air Force stories.
Yeah. We've had some Army.
We've had some Army. We've had Navy segments, but we haven't had anything from the Navy out there yet. So where you been? We know quite a few.
Yeah.
You know,
we do.
We know.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, some of them that were on an aircraft carrier. Come on.
Yeah, who doesn't know what an MRE is?
Yeah. He's too busy eating hot dogs.
He loves to double fist hot dogs.
But I appreciate, John, you letting me to continue this ride as co-host, my friend.
Yeah, man. And thanks to Big Dick Nick and Wilco Media as always. This, as you can see, we progressively, we're evolving.
We are.
At every show we evolve more, and that is all thanks to Nick and Wilco Media. So thanks, buddy. Mm-hmm. And like we said, subscribe and like our YouTube page, Wilco Media. Subscribe to the podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on Spotify. Where else can they find it? Google. Everywhere. Mm-hmm. We're like herpes. We're everywhere, whether you want us or not. Like I said, the best you can do is listen. If you like us, give us a good rating. Share the podcast. Give us some comments. We'll read them.
Mm-hmm. We'll read them out loud on the show.
Yeah, if you want us to, we'll read them out loud. I don't care.
If they're bad, we won't call you out. Don't worry.
I'll call them out. But yeah, that's it, man. The episode 4 in the books.
Episode 4 in the books. I like it.
Before we go, I do want to say we drop an episode every Thursday at noon. Okay, sure. so catch it on those. And yeah, we are. I feel like we're getting to the point where I wouldn't say well-oiled machine. We're a machine, and we're moderately oiled right now. We're still working out the kinks and stuff like that, but I think that's to be expected. But we do, if you guys have a veteran-owned business, a veteran-centric nonprofit, if it's your business or your nonprofit and you want to come on the show, or you know someone who owns a business or has a nonprofit that wants to come on the show, we would love to have you guys on. Love to blast out whatever it is you're doing for the veteran community. I think that's an important part of, building our community. You give back to each other. We always have each other's back. We shit on each other a lot, but at the end of the day, we're all brothers and sisters, and we're all here for each other. Comes
out of a place of love.
It does. If I didn't shit on you, then I probably don't like you, and that's the facts, Jack. But yeah, if you got anyone, you can send those in to wilcomediapro.com/BTB podcast as well. Like I said, we read everything, so just write down who it is or what the business or charity is, and we will reach out.
It literally says "write shit" here.
It says "write shit" here. It doesn't say "write story" here.
No, write shit.
No,
Whatever
shit.
you want to write in there,
yeah,
we'll read it.
If you literally just want to write the word "shit" and send it to us, that just means that you're listening, dude. So
that's a win.
It's a win for us. But yeah, episode 4 in the books, man.
Lovely.
As always, had a great time.
Me too.
And until next week.
Until next time.
Cool.